because of the namza, the voice is not coming clear.
Okay.
Later I realized, Krishna.
Okay.
Nice time, Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah, comfortable do it.
Yes, yes. Hello. 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 On is amare. The on kore. On the way. Hello. Hello. Yes. Good morning. Master Acharya. मन खुश है, मन चंगा तो कटोरे में गंगा। अच्छा नहीं, मन चंगा तो कटोरे में गंगा। सब कुछ सोच विवर पर निर्भर है ना। Right. What a glorious day. These days there are number of people everywhere, young people everywhere in the Tibetan community or everywhere. They might not say, but they think, इसको पढ़ाई करके क्या करना है? Why should I study Buddhism? Why should I study my language? इनसे मुझे रोटी देने वाला नहीं है. They may or may not say it, but that's what they think. But the reality is, these spiritual practices are not only giving you spiritual food, but also food for your body. People are simply not aware of those things. I'll give you an example. For example, in Dharamsala, because of His Holiness being there and because of many learning centers and good teachers, and because of the Tibetan community there, so many tourists come throughout the year. They do not come to Dharamsala because Tibetan people are very handsome and very beautiful. They are not that ugly, but nothing so special that they have to come all the way from America or Canada or other far away places to see Tibetans. They also do not come there to do business, right? Because most of the things that Tibetans sell are only those commodities they buy from New Delhi and then display it nicely. And then the place, Dharamsala, is also good, but not so special that you need to come all the way there. There are many other touristic places which are much more beautiful than in Dharamsala, like Switzerland, or there are many other places. So why are they coming to Dharamsala again and again? They are not stupid. Actually, many of these Western countries and Western people are the ones we copy. मुझे भी इनकी तरह होना चाहिए. Westernization, Westoxication. So when they come to Dharamsala, They stay in all the hotels, restaurants, be it Tibetan, be it Indian. That way the local people get money. Then they go to attend teachings and talks and things like that. They get money. Then some more generous tourists, they come and also sponsor some children. You get money. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि spiritual practice आपको पैसा नहीं आ रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. That is not the main subject, but that also need to be understand, because people think, in fact, this kind of good behavior and spiritual practices are the main source of attraction, be it Dharmasala, be it lay, all of that. Otherwise, why should they come here? Hannah. So don't say that from this spiritual practice we don't get any material benefit. Jadatar material things that you get here comes from spiritual related activities. This, as I said, this is not our main aim, but we need to understand this also. नहीं तो हम बोलते हैं ऐसे हमको रोटी नहीं देने वाला है. अभी हम लोग, many people are building retreat centers, this and that, because there is need. Number one. Number two, even if you do ordinary work and get some money, but how are you going to spend that money is very much dependent upon your spiritual mentality. If you don't have the right morality, right spiritual framework, then on one hand you work like a donkey to make money. On the other hand, उसको फिर क्या करते हैं? Your hard-earned money, उसको फूंक देते हैं. So it's not how you earn money, but it's also how you spend money, how you save money. So these spiritual practices help you to protect the material accumulations also. Neither, on one hand you work like a donkey, on the other hand you use it for drug. Destroying yourself, destroying your family member, destroying the whole culture here, which is very, very bad and dangerous. Right? So it's important. I hope none of you are using those drugs. There is the risk. Because number one, we are young people, immature mind. So anything that pleases us temporarily, we go for it. Be it sex, be it wine, be it so many other things. And even more important than that is these substance abuses, drugs. Who is supplying these drugs? So there, people should be vigilant, especially because they are playing with the life of the people. Many persons if no one needs us, we can find them together. It should really be not only at the administrative government level, but on the level of the people, it should really be against it. Because it will destroy everything that you are trying to achieve. And in a way, we already have so much problem because of our addiction to negative emotions. On top of that, we use addictive substances. And it is very clearly said in the Buddhist text. I think I cited this yesterday or day before yesterday. When you get habituated with negative emotions, it's very difficult to stop them with counter forces. As soon as the negative emotions like attachment and so forth pop up their ugly head, you should crush them. I told you earlier also, I'm telling you right now also. So in addition to this inborn kind of habituation and addiction to negative emotions, then if we take the addictive substances, you are making it worse. We don't need drugs. We don't need more hallucinating materials because we are to some extent already hallucinated. Right? So therefore, you should, young people, you may not have the direct responsibility, but you should really study and share and discourage these substance abuses, which is going to destroy the young generation, which means destroying the future hope of the Ladakhi people. I mean, you can, if you read what was the destructive effect of using substances, if you study the wide prevalent drug uses in Punjab, there's so much difficulty. And in some countries also there are drug mafias. So you should be very careful and help others who have this problem to come out of it. And it's good to know some people have already come out of drug addiction. And these people now realize the negative effects of drugs, so they are even planning to do something to help those newcomers to the drug use. हवा में बात करने से कुछ नहीं होगा. एक वर्ष हम बात करेंगे निर्वाण एनलाइटमेंट, छोड़ो ना निर्वाण एनलाइटमेंट जैसे का तैसे. कल मैंने बोला था ना, if you want to dance and move your head and hand, first your feet should be firmly on the ground. So before you talk about nirvana enlightenment, be a sensible person who knows how to discriminate between what is right and what is wrong, what is good for you, good for the society, good for the family. होना चाहिए. That means if you know how to live the humanistic way of life, the good, ordinary good human way of life, then it is not difficult to climb the stairs leading to liberation and enlightenment. But if that very foundation is not there, फिर क्या मजा है ऊंची ऊंची बात करने से. At the time of the Buddha, there was a monk by the name Malukya. He had received many teachings from the Buddha, but there were some questions which the Buddha did not answer. So one evening when he was in his heart, small heart, he thought that Buddha has been very kind to me, he gave many teachings, but I'm a little bit puzzled because he did not answer many important questions. So I must go today and ask him. And if he did not answer or do not answer, then I will go to some other teacher. So with this attitude, he goes to the Buddha and says the same thing. Then the Buddha responded by saying, then number one, did I ask you to be my student? मेरे शिष्य बनने के लिए मैंने क्या आपको बोला था क्या? This is such a good answer because there are teachers who are looking for students. And sometimes there is a competition. इनके पास तो follower बहुत है, इनके पास तो एक भी नहीं है. एक टिबेटन गुरु भी मिला था, वैसे वो मेरा दोस्त है, खाने के लिए बुला था. तो उन्होंने बोला कि Geshe, you are giving teaching, how many people are attending? I said maybe 20, 30. Huh? 20, 30? When I give a teaching, thousands follow. I mean, he is really on a very high post and also kind of old friend. And he used to be my student also earlier when I was young. So I'm very good in giving answers. My mind is relatively sharp. So the answer immediately came. I almost said, is this arrogance the result of your practice? But I, of course, did not say. So there are people like that. They feel happy that so many people are following me, listening to me. Instead of thinking that it's good that I'm able to benefit them, right? So therefore, see, look at the Buddha, he said, did I say that you should be my student? I never said, I'm not looking for a student. There are some Tibetan teachers who say, for me, if one student goes away, better for me. I can live in peace. One student, more student come, it's one burden for me. Because they have so much to do with their own practice, they are not looking for students. And some of these teachers, they say, I've given teaching to so many people, but I have never ever asked for anything, even a thank you. I did not expect even a thank you from the people, because I know they all have problems, they all have sufferings. The fact that I'm able to share a little bit of my wisdom, to read that there's something is good enough for me, I don't need anything more. Right? So the Buddha said, did I tell you that you become my student? Then the monk said, of course not. Okay, now listen, I'll tell you. You must have heard this before. This is called the paradox of the arrow. Have you heard about this? The paradox of the arrow. So the Buddha said, if somebody from an unknown location and distance shoots an arrow, and you are struck by that arrow, and that arrow is a poisoned arrow, and you are struck by that poisoned arrow, at that time what will you do? Will you immediately take the arrow out? Or instead of taking the arrow out, ask all the questions related to that incident. Who shot the arrow? How strong the arms of that guy is? Whether that guy has a mustache or not? By what material the bow and the arrow are made of? What was the speed of the arrow when it was coming towards me? Just with this small incidents, you could ask hundreds of questions. And if you refuse to take the medication before you get all the answers, long before you get the answers, you will be a dead person. So that's why I'm not interested in answering metaphysical questions. My concern here is how to reduce sufferings of people. Right? This makes big sense. Because sometimes we have this tendency of asking dry, intellectual, philosophical questions which may have nothing to do with your life. You can always have the comfort of asking, but that's not important. That's not important. In Paramahansa, there is one line referring to the omniscience of Buddha. What do you mean by the Buddha being omniscient? We say he knows everything. And then the text says, there may be so, but the Buddha is called omniscient not because he knows everything. He is called omniscient because he knows what to adopt and what to give up. If he is called omniscient simply because he knows so many things, then it is better that you invite eagle or vulture as your teacher. Guruji, eagle, Guruji, vulture, please come here. Be my teacher, you should say, because the eagles and vultures, some of them can see far of things. maybe between two mountains or something like that. So they have very special quality. But that is irrelevant to you. Right? So the main focus is you have problem, you have suffering, you want happiness. So for having that happiness, for shining and removing that suffering, what is relevant? What should I do? Future life, we talk about future life. May I get a human life again in the future life, which is good prayer. But human life तो अभी है, आपको मिल गया अभी. This human life that you already got, you are not using it, and then praying that next time also I become a human being. Next time also you become a lazy human being like now, then what is the use? Right? So now is the time. Now is the time. You have obtained this very precious human life. And if you do this spiritual practice, meaning that if you transform your mind from negative to the positive, then your material accumulation will be there, success will be there, happiness will be there. So don't think that this material, this retreat is of no relevance to me. मुझे तो काम करना है, पैसा कमाना है. This is wrong. This is wrong. Because it is found that some people did research with different countries. Why this country is flourishing? Why this country is declining? Then they found in many places the Japanese people always flourish because they are hardworking, disciplined, right, and have relatively very good moral ethics. And in those places where these things are not there, फिर उधर क्या होता है, माफिया होता है, गुंडा होता है, कुछ नहीं होता है. चार आदमी कुछ बनाता है, दो आदमी उसको गिराता है, फिर कुछ नहीं होता है ना? ठीक है ना? So therefore you should really see the importance of such retreat and more importantly spiritual practice in your daily life. Very, very important. And as I mentioned, because you are a human being, if you are an animal or bird, then nothing we can do. But we are not like that. And especially human beings, unless we be careful, there is every tendency to misuse this intelligence and brain. And most of the problems that we see in the world today is because of misusing this intelligence. We use this intelligence to make nuclear bombs, ballistic missiles, smart bullets. क्या क्या बना के रखा है? Smart bullet, you know? Smart bullet means not the ordinary bullet which goes and shoots the target, but smart bullet can actually chase the criminal or whoever. And then we have studied about chemical warfare. We have studied about biological warfare. You know biological warfare? Biological warfare means if I don't like my neighboring country, then I take all the locusts that destroys the field, bore barke, udar फेंक देता उनकी खेती में. Such horrible thinking. Then they also make some bombs which really looks like a toy. And nowadays they come up with certain bombs which will destroy and kill the people, but not the building, because they need building. Chinese government invaded Tibet not because they want Tibetans, they want the land. This is horrible. It's really horrible. But nobody can escape the consequences of one's wrongdoing. So never think that you have an upper hand. Because when you engage continuously in wrongdoing, it is really like committing suicide, personal suicide. It's really like digging your own grave. I mean, in China also, I wish they prosper. But to see the amount of flood, collapsing of the building, so many things which they don't show, but we see. And then the leaders are like trying to kill each other. There is a special hospital where many of these leaders are taken there and killed there. Right? So it's not only bad for the country which they have invaded, but it's bad for them in the long run also. Without morality, without some kind of discipline, we can't solve any problem. Right? Okay, थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं. Verse 45, right? So from verse 45, the next few verses, they are talking about how to guard your precepts without letting them decline. If I happen to be present while a senseless conversation is taking place, or if I happen to see some kind of spectacular show, I should abandon attachment towards it. So this is not saying you should not socialize. It's okay to be with good company. But ज़्यादातर इन चीजों में खोने से, if you get lost with this gossiping, meaningless gossiping, talking about other people, and then that is called gossiping, senseless conversation means gossiping. And get attracted towards all kinds of shows. जहाँ कुछ शो है, नाच गान है, डांस है या कुछ है, वे सब हम चले जाते हैं ना. In big cities, what happens? A bomb explodes and kills many of them. But this is, and then some people also mix with big crowds, then get all kind of disease. है ना? I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but this is real. So again, here you should, although you're free to do whatever you like, but you should see where to go, where not to go. Then in this way, if you engage in gossiping, engaging in watching shows on your phone, on the television, and then this way, if you continue, you will get again addicted to these things, and of course, a lot of wastage of time. You're not able to prepare for your exam, forget about Dharma practice. That's the problem, you see. So don't do that. That's what they're saying. So even if you attend some of this, don't develop too much attachment. Attachment तब होता है क्योंकि हमको हमारे समझ में आता है. वैसे क्या है, स्टेज पर ऐसे ऐसे कर रहा है, इसको ज्यादा क्या दिखना है. I'm a little bit now. I feel because of my old age maybe, है ना. तो कभी कभी तो ठीक है, देख लो ना. तो ज्यादातर क्या है बेचारे ऐसे ऐसे करके, लाइट इधर चमकना ऐसे ऐसे करके, सब वही तो कर रहा है और क्या करना. कभी कभी चलो ठीक है, इसमें ज्यादा खोने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है वहाँ, है ना, है कि नहीं. अब डांस करो ठीक है, थोड़ा एक्सरसाइज हो जाएगा. टिबेटन्स लोग बहुत डांस करता है आजकल. Everywhere in the world, Tibetans are dancing GESHE, which to some extent good for exercise, but likewise, if I start digging the earth, picking the grass or drawing patterns on the ground, then by recalling the advice of the Buddhas, I should immediately step out of fear. Now this probably especially refers to Bodhisattvas or Lamas or reincarnates to whom people show a lot of faith. So because of that, you should not be engaging in mindless activities like ऐसे घास काट रहा है, क्या मतलब है ना. if for no reason I start digging the earth, picking the grass, or kuch lig raha hai wahan. So the meaning is don't engage in. Then remember the Buddha's teaching, where the Buddha clearly said that don't unnecessarily destroy the grass or plants or earth, whatever, right? Whenever I have the desire to move my body or to say something, not just move my body, but whenever I have the desire to go somewhere or to say something, examine my mind and then with steadiness in the proper way. Just like as I mentioned yesterday, that you should really think, where am I planning to go? Which direction? To meet what kind of people? Right? So whether you're going to plan to go somewhere, whether you want to say something, before you say, you should examine your mind and with some kind of steadiness, stability, act in the proper way. Whenever there is attachment in my mind, and whenever there is desire to be angry, I should not do anything, nor say anything. Chup chap beto feel. Remaining like a piece of wood. Cut बोलते हैं ना, cut लकड़ी की तरह. Whenever I have distracted thoughts, the wish to verbally belittle others, feelings of self-importance or self, I have the intention to describe the faults of others, intention and the thought of to deceive others. फिर क्या है? फिर काम चला गया इसके बाद. Okay. I think we need to continue. I am eager for praise or have the desire to blame others. Whenever I have the wish to speak harshly and cause dispute, not dispute, cause division. At all such times, I should remain like a piece of wood. Whenever I desire material gain, desire honor or fame, whenever I seek attention from a circle of friends, and when in my mind I wish to be served, at all these times I should remain like a piece of wood. Okay, all these things, name, fame, money, desire, we all crave for those things. But the reality is, the more you get it, the more you are getting problems also. Nothing comes very free. Nagarjuna, in his letter to the friend, where he says, the king of Naga means something like snake. The king of Naga has 5 heads. The ordinary Nagas have only 1 head. So comparing to that ordinary snake with 1 head, the king snake really looks great, right? But the problem is, he has 5 heads. So this head today is okay, but this head is hard. Huh? The 2 head on the sides are okay, but the middle one is hard. And those that have only 1 head, if it gets hard, it's okay, otherwise no problem. So for us also, if you have a lot of money, you'll get a lot of problem there from income tax, from other people's jealousy, things that you get a lot of headache. Then also let us say if you have like a big family with 5 brothers, 10 sisters, whatever, then you make a show of it. These are my sisters, these are my brothers. But then very soon, my younger brother is not well. My elder sister had some problem. Right? So nothing comes very free. Nothing comes very free. So if you have them, okay, but don't get too much obsession. Whenever I have the wish to, whenever I Yeah, verse 51. We were reading verse 51, right? Whenever I desire material gain, honor or fame, whenever I seek attendance or a circle of friends, some people who are so-called rich people and leaders, they have lots of attendants. कई लोग उसको हंसी मजाक में बनाते हैं, ये बड़ा बहुत बड़ा लम्हा है बोलते हैं, लेकिन अपना जूते का क्या बोलते हो लेस शू लेस भी दूसरों से करवाता है, इतना भी खुद नहीं करता है. This is really awkward, very awkward. Attendant. Whenever I have the wish to not to decrease, whenever I have the wish to ignore or stop working for others, and the desire to pursue my welfare alone, if motivated by such thoughts, a wish to say something occurs, and at this time I should remain like a piece of wood. Whenever I have impatience, laziness, cowardice, shamelessness, or the desire to talk nonsense, if thoughts of partiality arise, at these times too, I should remain like a piece of wood. अब धीरे धीरे तुम piece of wood बन जाओ, ठीक है? फिर नाश्ता भी नहीं चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए. Having in this way examined his mind for disturbing conceptions and for thoughts that strive for meaningless things, the courageous Bodhisattva should hold his mind steady through the application of remedial forces. Right, so remedial forces means you should cultivate the counter forces. For example, if you are developing a lot of attachment, then the counter force is meditate on the ugliness of that object towards which you are developing attachment. If you are developing hatred towards somebody, then as a counter force to that, you should develop loving kindness, right? Having in this way, examine, okay, I read this already, remedial forces. Being very resolute and faithful, steady, respectful, polite, with a sense of shame, apprehensive, and peaceful, I should strive to make others happy. Meaning that you should have conviction of your knowledge, should have strong faith, you should be stable, you should be humble and respectful, you should have sense of shame and embarrassment. The world is sustained by two qualities, feeling of shame and having concern for others. There is no very good English word for Tillyoba. But Tillyoba, they use shame. But shame means when you stop doing something by considering yourself, I am a Buddhist, how can I do this? I am the child of a good family, how can I do this? So you put yourself as the reason and stop doing bad things, that's called having sense of shame. And then next is you stop doing bad things with the consideration for others. So these two must be there. I should not be disheartened by all the whims. Who are in discord with one another. I should due to disturbing conceptions and therefore be kind towards them. Meaning that when you see some people in discord, not in harmony, when you see such people, which we see all the time, conflict is happening, fighting is happening, disagreement is happening, And then this is like discord between two small kids. You should not be discouraged. You know? And instead you should think that these people are engaging in such negative deeds because of negative emotions. So they are helpless. Helpless. Therefore, you should develop more compassion to these people who engage in wrong activities. Not people, they are not engaging in wrong activities because they enjoy, but because of negative emotions they are doing this. When you have strong negative emotion, you even commit suicide, right? So therefore, you should understand this and develop compassion instead of hatred and anger. Anger is not solution. Compassion is the solution. Loving kindness is the solution. लेकिन उसको प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है बार बार एक बार से नहीं होता है बार बार in doing that which by nature is not unwholesome both for the sake of myself and other sentient beings I should always hold my mind fast acting like an aberration with no sense of self in doing that which is by nature is not unwholesome So this is saying that those by nature, if it is not unwholesome, in other words, it's not negative, right? If it is not negative, right, then you should do it. Those that which is by nature not negative but good, then for the sake of myself and other sentient beings, I should always hold my mind first. Hold my mind first means then you should have really control over yourself and decide, yes, I'm going to attend this retreat. Yes, I'm going to attend this teaching. Right? Yes, I'm going to eat a good breakfast for my health. Right? Both for the sake of self and other sentient beings. Other sentient beings means when you eat, you are eating not just for yourself, but for other sentient beings. When you are studying, not just for yourself, but for other people. Right? So that means having control over yourself, you should listen to the teaching. Having control over others, you should give them teaching and practice giving and so forth. And when you engage in such practice, right, when you engage in such practice, do not develop the misconception that you have inherent existence. But you should do all this like an illusion, like an apparition, with no sense of self. No sense of self means नहीं करना चाहिए मैंने ये तो नहीं काम किया मैंने I that is existing independently from itself. I did this, not like this. There's no such I having independent existence. So the so-called I there's nothing to be proud of this I because this I, right? कहाँ है आपका I कहाँ? Where is your I? At one time, Milarepa was giving teaching, and he told his students to go and during the session, one break of the session, he told his students to go and find the I. And then there was a young shepherd who said, I searched everywhere, I could not find it. So if you search, nahi hai nahi hai. Are you here? Are you here? Your eye is here? Huh? Now you are getting trouble. अब यहाँ पे नहीं, कहाँ है मुझे देखो. हाँ, ये तो मैंने नहीं पूछा हुआ. Whether your body is here or not, I did not ask that question. I asked the question whether the eye is here or not. Where is the eye? अभी मैं ज्यादा नहीं बोलूंगा, चक्कर खा जाएंगे आप. बाद में फिर बोलेगा मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा. लेकिन कहने का मतलब ये है कि there is no eye which you thought. Or in other words, in a simpler case, you should think the so-called I is just conglomeration or aggregation of many things. It is impermanent, it is fragile, so there is no reason, no need for me to get so arrogant. Right? So therefore what he's saying is, when you help other people, don't become arrogant. Don't oh thank you. Just as you feed yourself, you look after yourself all the time. Every time you feed yourself, you say thank you. You prepare breakfast and then you eat the breakfast, then you tell yourself thank you. Then you prepare lunch and eat lunch, then thank you. Do you say these things to yourself? Right? Why? Because this is something that needs to be done. You've done it, that's it. So similarly, when you help others also, it is something that needs to be done. You've done it, that's great. Just appreciate it. Don't expect thank you from other people. That is what he's saying. Right? By thinking again and again that after a long time I have won the greatest leisure. Likewise, I should hold my hand, or I should hold my mind, and utterly unshakable as the king of mountain. After a long time means, after many lives, today you got this opportunity to practice Dharma. Greatest leisure means, for the first time I am giving some time, some opportunity, some freedom to do the Dharma practice. Think about this again and again and appreciate and be happy. So such a mind, strong mind like a mountain should be cultivated. Next few verses are talking about the first type of morality. When we talk about morality, there are three types. Three types. One I will already explained, right? Three types of morality. The first is morality of stopping negative deeds. Second, which we are now going to read, is morality of collecting virtuous qualities. And third is called morality of helping sentient beings. So in Buddhism, when we talk about ethics or morality, there is no connotation of observing a discipline imposed upon you by some external force. It's very flexible. Morality or ethical discipline means, number one, restraining or putting an end to your misconducts, stopping misconducts. That's morality. You don't have to wear a strange costume and observe certain physical postures, not talking to anybody. It's not talking about this. It's talking about stopping your negative deed. That's good way of life. The Tibetan word sultan, sul means proper. Tin means way of life. Sultan basically means proper way of life. What is proper way of life? Number one, stopping negative deeds. That's proper way of life. Which is good, but not enough. So second is collecting virtuous qualities, gathering virtuous qualities like compassion, love, and so on is also good, but still What you need is why you stopping negative deeds, why you are collecting virtuous qualities. At the end of the day, it is to help other sentient beings. So helping other sentient beings is good ethics, good morality. Morality is not just not talking to others or right. So if mind you are not made unhappy when this body is dragged and tossed about by vultures greedy for flesh, then why are you so concerned about it now? On the one hand, of course, for the sake of practice, you need to take care of your body, but don't get obsessed with the body. Because a day will come when your dead body will be in the cemetery, right? And at that time, the vultures will drag your body, toss about. That will be the end of the story. So why you take so much care about it right now? When you are dead, the size of the grave, size of the coffin is same for the king and the pauper. You know, die in the same way. So with this kind of attitude, don't develop too much attachment. Holding this body as mind, why mind do you guard it so? Since you and it are separate. Because the mind and body are separate. Or the I and the body are separate. What use can it be to you to develop so much grasping? Meaning that this body that you develop so much attachment, calling my body, right? Is it your body? Are you sure? Look at the origin of this body. The origin of this body is the egg and the ovum from the parents. So they are body, right? But because you give the designation, this is my body, this is my body, this is my body, this is my body, now you have very strong obsession with you saying this is my body. In reality, this is not your body. Even though it is not your body, but with the passage of time, when you repeatedly call it my body, it becomes your body. Similarly, other sentient beings, if you say these are all my sentient beings, these are all my brothers, these are all my sisters, if you repeatedly say that, they will also become yours. Imagine, see the twist and the turn. The Bodhisattva way of helping all other sentient beings makes perfect sense. ये मेरा है बोलकर कि मेरा हो जाता है ना, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, right? So you should take care of them. Why confused mind? Do you not hold to a clean, wonderful form? Just what is the point of guarding this putrid, dirt-filled machine? Right? Confused means you do not want to adopt and what is to give up. Therefore, this unhealthy, unclean body, you develop so much attachment. It makes more sense to develop attachment to clean wooden form or like cotton, which is much cleaner than your body. But still, if you think that your body is very clean, then it says, now let us analyze. First of all, mentally separate the layers of the skin. Skin का layer कितना है? 7 layers है skin का. Dermis and epidermis. वो सब बाहर निकाल दो. हाँ? फिर इसके नीचे क्या है? There are layers of skin from the flesh. And then with the scalpel of discrimination, separate the flesh from the skeletal frame. and having split open even the bones, then flesh होगा, उसके नीचे क्या होगा, bone होगा, उसके नीचे क्या होगा, marrow होगा. Look right down into the marrow while examining this. Ask yourself, where is its essence? क्या है? ढूंढ के क्या मिल रहा आपको? But don't take it in the wrong way. It's not saying you're ugly, you're bad, you're hopeless, you're dirty. It's not saying that. It's only saying just reality. If you don't use it in the right way, there's not much there. In the right way, even this fragile body can achieve enlightenment. So you know, to discourage doing wrong things, all this needs to be understood. And this is said not only in Buddhism, but other scholars, they say, beauty is skin deep. सुना आपने? Beauty is skin deep. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना बहुत सुंदर है. कितना सुंदर है? ये थोड़ा खोल लो फिर पता चले. Beauty is skin deep. उसके पीछे क्या है? Beauty is skin deep. Early goes all the way down. Narrow तक जाओ फिर. That's the reality. तो इतना अहंकार होने का, इतना अटैचमेंट होने का कोई मतलब नहीं. That's what he's saying. If even when searching with such effort, you can apprehend no essence, कुछ नहीं पाया आपने, then why with so much attachment are you still guarding the body now? So that means you take your body, you take care of your body only to the extent that it is able to stay healthy and survive and do good things. Otherwise, there's no point serving this body. Just like the servant in your house. If that servant turns out to be a lazy person doing nothing, then why should you continue to keep that servant giving salaries? Very soon you will say, get lost. That's what he's saying. So you should really take care of this. Now in your case, you need to take care of this body very much because you want to do Dharma practice. Right? Otherwise, what is the use? What use is this body to you? If it is dirty, insides are unfit for you to eat, खाने के लिए नहीं है. If its body is not fit to drink, and if it is intestines are not fit to be sucked, and the second, the best is only to fit to be guarded in order to give it to the vultures and jackals. Are you looking after your body so that you are able to donate it to the jackals and vultures? इसलिए तो नहीं कर रहे हैं ना. You are protecting your body so that you are able to do something good. Otherwise, there is not much essence. Truly, this body of human being should only be employed in the practice of virtue. But should you instead guard it with attachment, then what will you be able to do when it is stolen by the unsympathetic Lord of Death and given to the dogs and birds? If you don't do anything good but simply develop attachment, then उस दिन जब the messenger of death come or when you die, then फिर आप क्या करेंगे? है ना? So right now you should live your life in such a way so that there will be no fear to the death. If servants are not given clothing and so forth, when they are unable to be employed, this English is so difficult. जो यहाँ से ऐसे खा सकता है ना, उसको ऐसे करके खिला. I really feel like that, but I have no right to judge because I myself is not translating. This is basically saying that if the servant is not doing any job, why should you give him clothing and so forth? Then why do you exhaust yourself looking after this flesh alone when even though caring the body, it goes elsewhere, right? If your body is not doing anything useful, then why you are, इतना तुम देखभाल क्यों कर रहे हैं? आपके इस शरीर से कोई मतलब चीज तो कर नहीं रहा है. सिर्फ खाना बाथरूम में जाना, सिर्फ खाना बाथरूम में जाना, फिर क्या मतलब है? दिस इज व्हाट इज सेइंग। सो कुछ मतलब तो होना चाहिए। इतना इतना दिनों से, इतना सालों से इसको खिला पिला रहा है ना? अब ये बदमाशी करके बैठा है, काम नहीं कर रहा है, तनख्वाह ले रहा है। That's what he's saying. So इसलिए अभी क्या करना चाहिए? Now having paid my body its wages, I shall engage it in making my life meaningful. But if my body is of no benefit, then I shall not give it anything. फिर मत खिलाओ कुछ भी, है ना? काम कुछ नहीं कर रहा है और इतना खिलाता है कि सब मोटा बन के बैठा है। मोटे मोटे 80 किलो वाले लोग इधर उधर घूम रहा है। कई लोग तो इतना मोटा है कि दरवाजे जैसे नहीं निकल सकता है। There are many people like that in America and some other countries. They're so huge, so heavy, you know. They need to prepare special doors for these people. Strange things are there. When they ride the aeroplane, really it looks like the aeroplane is under an earthquake, you know. Dum, dum, dum. फिर क्या है? क्या करेंगे इतना मोटा बन के? Right? I should consider my body as a boat. And in order to benefit all others, transform it into a wish-fulfilling body. That means the body, by its very nature, is not so clean, fragile, and so forth, but you have this special mental capacity. And if you fine-tune this mental capacity and transform it into a positive way of thinking, then because of this mind residing in your body, this body also becomes wish-fulfilling body. Because the body is just slave to the mind, right? But if you develop a very good, compassionate, altruistic mental attitude, because of this, आपके देखने का ढंग भी अलग होगा, सोचने का ढंग भी अलग होगा, काम करने का ढंग भी अलग होगा, मुस्कुराने का ढंग भी अलग होगा. So just by your presence, like the body of His Holiness Dalai Lama or the Buddha, we call it meaningful to behold. देखने से आपको मजा आ जाता है, blessing मिल जाता है. Of course, then you ask question, what about seeing Michael Jackson? उसको भी देखने से मजा आ जाता है. आ जाता है. What is the difference seeing His Holiness Dalai Lama's body and the body like a famous Bollywood actor or actress? What is the difference? Because when you see body of His Holiness and Buddha, you feel calmness, you feel settled, you feel stable. But when you see the body of some famous actor, actresses, फिर क्या होता है? छटपटा जाता है, छटपटा. Become restless. It's a big difference. Big difference. Then the next few verses are talking about when you practice, you should be skillful. You should be skillful. Right? You should know how to practice, and also the practice should be skillful. Now, while there is freedom to act, I should always present a smiling face. Face is the index of mind. The first thing that you should do is, you should always carry this smiling face. And cease to frown and look angry. ऐसा नहीं कि कोई भी आपको देखे तो लगे कि ये गुस्सा है. And cease to frown and look angry. I should be a friend and counsel of the world. So the meaning that now you should change all your activities. I should desist from moving around chairs and opening doors. I should always delight in humility. So in our day, to sit on a seat, comfortable seat or chair, sit nicely, properly, in a relaxed way. है ना? कुछ इधर से उधर उठाना है तो जोर से फेंकना, घसीटना ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, आराम से ले जाना, ठीक है ना? And then if you are like, for example, one very good practice that you can do is, for example, you have just, went out of this door. Then after that you knew that someone else is coming. Then उसके सामने वो बंद करके ऐसा नहीं जाना चाहिए. फिर थोड़ा इंतजार करो, उसको खोल के रखो, उसको जाने दो. All these things should be done. है ना? Right? Start from small things. For example, if these windows are open, lights are on, then your teaching session finishes. And when around the time when your teaching finishes, big bluster of wind comes. फिर क्या करना चाहिए आपको? तुरंत जाके विंडो बंद करना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं सर, ये विंडो, ये कमरा मेरा थोड़ी है. गलत है. This is wrong. And then nobody is going to stay in this room for 2-3 hours. Switch off the light. All these small gestures show what kind of practice you are doing. So as well as from while looking open door, I should always delight in humility. It gives an example of how the stork, the cat, and the thief, how they come when they want to get something. When cat is coming to catch the mouse, कैसे आता है ये? कैसे आता है? म्याऊ बोल के थोड़ी आता है, नहीं आता है. तब तो भाग जाएगा वो. फिर क्या कैसे आता है? चुपचाप से. शिकारी ये ना, जो टाइगर्स, लायंस ऐसे आता है. I watched all this, फिर पकड़ते हैं. इस तरह होना चाहिए हम लोग. The stork, the cat, and the thief मैं आ रहा हूँ बोल के थोड़ा आएगा. By moving silently and carefully accomplish what they desire to do. A Bodhisattva too should always behave in this way. बिना शोर मचाए, बोलता है ना हम लोग, बिना शोर मचाए काम कर. Right? With respect, I should gratefully accept unsought afterwards that are of benefit, and that wisely advise and admonish me, and that wisely advise and admonish me. At all times, I should be people of everyone. The meaning of this line is basically saying, if somebody, or having asked, gives you good advice with good motivation, then क्या करना चाहिए? What should you do? Then you should accept it. This person is really like trying to help me. There may be a small child or person considered to be much lower than you. You should respectfully accept that and say thank you. Don't say, अब कौन है मुझे बताने वाला, आ गया. ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. ठीक है ना? हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, अहंकार है ना हम लोग. ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. And you should also be similarly good in giving advice to others. I should say, well said, to all those things. When anybody is saying anything good, you should say, very good, well done. Who speak Dharma well. And if I see someone doing good, I should praise him and be well pleased. Be happy. Be happy. If your children are doing very well, parents will be happy. So similarly, when you see others doing good, you should be happy. Should be happy. Don't be jealous. I should discreetly talk about the good qualities of others and repeat those that others recount. If my own good qualities are spoken about, I should just know that and be aware that I have them. Meaning that if behind the back of maskamara, flattering, वो नहीं करना चाहिए. Because if you flatter, many people are so good in flattering. मेरे पास भी बहुत सारे आता है, मेरे सामने बोलता है कि शीला अभी ये वो है, हाँ कहाँ से कल्चर है, why I don't know why they say things like that, and then I also feel embarrassed, you know, हाँ क्योंकि मेरे पास क्या चीज़ है मुझे पता है, इनको पता नहीं है ना, तो अच्छा नहीं है, और मेरे पास देने के लिए भी कुछ नहीं है, इतना मस्का मार के so saying that if you want to praise somebody, if you really sincerely want to praise somebody, tell it to other people behind the back, not in front of that person. In front of that person, at the best you say thank you, Geshe, thank you, Geshe, that's it. है ना? And if somebody is talking about the go to qualities of someone else, then she say, oh, wonderful, wonderful. Don't say, that may be the thing bad. Oh, mat bolna. And if somebody is praising you, then don't become arrogant. Instead, you should think, oh, this person really knows what is good, what is bad. So this person is good. Think like that. Okay? If deeds of others are the source of joy, that would be rare, even if it could be bought with money. So such kind of happiness that you develop, you cannot buy it in the market. आपको खुशी चाहिए ना, you want happiness. So in this way you can get happiness from everywhere. Therefore, I should be happy in finding this joy in the good things that are done by others. Okay. Through doing this, I shall suffer no losses in this life, and in the future lives shall I find great happiness. But the fault of disliking their good qualities will make me unhappy and miserable, and in the future lives I shall find great suffering. Right? Now, how should you talk to others? How should you talk to others? When talking, I should speak from my heart and on what is relevant. Whether you are writing something, when you are talking something, you should be short and clear. When talking, I should speak from my heart and on what is relevant, making the meaning clear and the speech pleasing. So your speech, if possible, should be like a honey. If not possible, at least like a flower. But it should not be like a filth. कई लोग ऐसा होता है ना, उनका कुछ शब्द सुनते ही गुस्सा आ जाता है, अनहैप्पीनेस हो जाता है, ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. Because the tongue that is maybe 6 inches long can fell a person 6 feet tall. Speech is not sharp like a blade, but it can cut other people's heart into pieces if you use the wrong word. जिसके पास आंख है उसको बोलना अंधा ठीक नहीं लगता है ना, आंख है उसके पास फिर भी बोलते कि अंधा है तो. That person gets hurt, and if that person already has low sight, hey andhe, this is like kicking on a person who is already falling. नहीं बोलना चाहिए कभी भी. ऐसे बोलते रहेंगे तो अगले जन्म में तुम खुद अंधा हो जाओगे. Really? जैसे करनी वैसे बढ़नी. ठीक है? I should not speak out to desire hatred, and also you should not like share your personal secrets and things to everybody. There are things you should not share. How much money you have, don't share. Don't tell other people. Or how healthy you are, also don't. What is the situation of your health, details of your health, also don't share. No use. Because if you share all your things, then there are people who will be really like taking advantage. Then they will look down. ये तो बहुत है मेरे, इसके बाद इतना पैसा है. No use, right? So best is speak less. When beholding someone with my eyes, thinking I shall fully awaken through depending upon this being, I should look at him with an open heart and love. See? I mean, it's so good. When you see somebody, then may I become Buddha for the benefit of all these people. Right? Just like mother beholding her children. The mother always thinks, how can I help them? How can I give them love? How can I give them good education? So similarly, whenever you see people, at least you pray, may they be happy. Right? And with this prayer, they may or may not become happy, but you will be happy because of this right attitude. Always being motivated by great aspiration or being motivated by the remedial forces, if I work in the fields of excellence, benefit and misery, great virtues will come about. So that means whether you do a good thing or bad thing, if you do it with great motivation, for example, in the case of a negative act, if you do it with great motivation, it will be more sinful. In the case of a positive deed, if you do it with great motivation, that will be more fruitful. And if you do it, even if you commit a negative deed, but you are motivated to develop the remedial forces, counter forces, it will be more fruitful. When you do something good, which happens to somebody who has a lot of learning and knowledge, or somebody who has been very beneficial to you, like your parents, then those are especially beneficial. And similarly, those people who are suffering, if you help them, it's more beneficial. Instead of helping somebody who doesn't need anything. You know? Endowed with wisdom and joy, I should undertake all that I do. Whatever, so it's saying whatever I do, I should do it with wisdom and faith. It doesn't say joy, but it says faith. With faith, and wisdom, you should always do all kind of activities. And in terms of doing good activities, you should not depend upon others. Just like in terms of taking your lunch and dinner, do you always check whether others have eaten or not? नहीं करता है ना, कोई परवाह नहीं, मैं तो खा लूंगा, है ना? So इसी तरह, this is something important to do. So whether others are doing or not, you should develop these positive qualities. I mean, this is a really good thing. This shows the commitment. This shows the commitment. If you do because others are doing, if you're not doing because others are not doing, that means you're simply following the flock. है ना, commitment नहीं है. So to show your commitment, the perfections such as the 6 perfections, out of the 6 perfections, the perfections such as generosity are progressively more exalted. Progressively more exalted means all 6 perfections are important, but the higher ones are more important. For example, morality is more important than giving, and so forth. At the end, wisdom perfection is the most important because it cuts the root of ignorance and which leads to you to achieve nirvana and enlightenment. So that's the most important. I should not forsake a great gift for a little progressively more exalted, but for a little morality, I should not forsake a great gift. Principally, I should consider what will be of the most benefit for others. Okay, some questions.
Those who has a question, please raise your hand.
As being born as a Buddhist, like from childhood, we are taught to like never lie. Like lying always causes suffering. Yeah. So, and as a Buddhist, we are also taught that we should always collect like virtuous quality, like do compassion, be kind, and never lie. So my question is very simple, Geshe-la. So is it like in some condition that can lying be like also considered as like virtuous? Because like if I suppose if I want to like do good for a family who is like poverty stricken, I want to become a businessman. I want to like help them in any way as I can. So like I'm pitching an idea or anything, I will exaggerate like my idea or my product. So there is a little bit lies or like that. So in the end, like my purpose is to help. Like my purpose is like not to like cause harm to anyone. So Geshe-la, please enlighten me. I'm very confused about this.
There are, in terms of lie, there are black lie, white lie, and mortal lie. Something like क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Checkered lie, neither white nor black. So as much as possible, don't lie. Lying means telling what is not true. As much as possible, don't. It's not just lying. All Buddhist practices. Don't do this, do this. Do as much as possible. एक दिन में तुम भगवान बन जाओ, कोई नहीं बोला है ना, नहीं बोला है ना, होगा भी नहीं. इसलिए try as much as possible. You will sleep. And lying also, for example, the question you are asking with lying, as much as possible, don't lie. Because if you lie, then very soon some people will find out that you lied, and then they will never trust you. Right? So be very careful. But sometimes, like for example, if a hunter is chasing a deer to be killed, and the deer just ran in front of me and got out from this door, and then the hunter comes with his arrow and his spear. Vishnu, did you see a deer? I'm not so sure. I thought something passed somewhere. I'm really not so sure which direction. It's lying because you saw it's going from here. Or you can even say, oh yeah, it went this way. so those are my white lies. I think it is good. Yeah.
Couldn't second.
Yeah.
Geshe-la, you might not have been in this situation often, like when someone insults you or being verbally abusive. But if it does happen to you, then how do you react to it?
It happened with me. Bodhisattva. And it was uncalled for. So I reacted very strongly. एक जगह में गया विदेशी में. So there were some modern professors, modern Buddhist professors. So they were reading books, 2-3 books. They all write books. And from them they gave the recognition, this is such and such professor. He said, we did 2 books, 3 books, like that. Whereas in our case, I have not written a single book. There was kuch dikha nahi. And those people who knew me, they put me at the same level with these professors. So that night we were giving a talk. But then long before I heard that, this Geshe who is he? He's not a scholar. He has not written even a single book. I heard this earlier, that these professors with whom I am having, before the talk we have a dinner meeting. So these people who said this, I heard, and they were there. So during the dinner also, they were like very arrogant in saying things, as if they're the only person who know things. Then I said, what stupid things are you saying? You have no understanding of Buddhism. I challenged them, which may not be a good thing, but sometimes it is important to tell the bitter truth. So then they said, okay. They did not argue with me. So sometimes it is necessary. Because, cotton, everybody says, cotton, so soft, so nice, बोलता है ना, फिर करता क्या है? गद्दे में डल के बैठने के लिए बनता है, नीचे बैठता है इसके ऊपर। तो ज़्यादा सॉफ्ट होने से ऐसा होता है। ठीक है ना? तो कभी-कभी टेढ़ा होना पड़ता है। लकड़ी tree. If the trees are tall and straight, everybody says, wow, this tree is so straight, so tall, so good. But if you want to prepare a saddle for the horse, this tree is of no use. You need already a crooked tree. उधर से बनता है वो saddle. तो वैसे हमेशा सीधा होना अच्छा है, लेकिन कभी-कभी हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, सीधी उंगली से घी नहीं निकलता, होना पड़ता है कभी. And this is in accordance with the teaching of the Buddha. Yes.
So my question is also with this situation. When we are with in many times it has happened with me that I like to sit somewhere in a room and read something than to go out with the friends to a dinner or to a picnic. But then when my friends wants to go and when I'm not going, they totally cancel their plans and everything, and they become upset because of me. So on the one side, I'm for my own reading and everything, I'm doing it for myself, but then I'm avoiding my friends' plans and all, cancel them. So it is, and after that, I feel so regret because I have made them upset. So on that time, am I wrong or right? What should I do?
No, always, as I said, always middle way. There is a teaching which says, that means your inner realization will be like a God, but your regular behavior should be like normal human beings. So sometimes, yes, let us go for a picnic. This is exactly what I do. In the institute where I'm heading the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives, for the staffs, we have 2 annual picnic, which initiated by me. I said, "Jindagi thoda maja karo." 2 picnic to kam se kam hona chahiye. But I'm also not able to go all the time because I feel okay, I do this better than I'm not needed there. But sometimes if you never go, it doesn't look good. So sometimes you go. So middle way.
And another question, Gisela, I have been asked by one of my Indian friends that she is getting so much abusive and bullied in her home, because and sometimes her husband beat her so much that she is not doing the homework, home chores, and she also have learned the Buddhism about patience and everything. So she's asking whether she should have patience of everything or that. So, and if not, how can she react? What is the way that she can?
No, I heard this kind of story many times, which is very sad. But then this is misunderstanding of patience. Kolok too. 6 misunderstandings are there. One misunderstanding is misunderstanding of patience. Sabakolo, misunderstanding of compassion. Right? Because if you let that other person abuse you, torture you, it's not only not bad for you, but it's also bad for that person. It's collecting negative karma. Right? But then it's easier said than done. Some people, they have to live their life like that. There's no way they can get out. But otherwise, if there's a possibility, then just get out. Don't stay there. Why you should suffer unnecessarily? If they're beating you, that means they don't like you at all. So why should you stay there? है ना? तो चलो फिर उसको जगह छोड़ के दूसरी जगह. लेकिन सब it depends on the situation and the person to person case. Some people are really helpless, but you can help them.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Julia Geshe-la. And another question that actually I have observed this since my childhood, that yesterday I get to learn that the hell is created by our mind. So that what I learned yesterday. But since our childhood, the Gurujis, my parents are always used to told me that there is hell, and if you do bad this, you will be going there, you will be boiled in this and that. But yesterday I get to learn that it is just a creation of our mind, right?
Yes, yes.
So then why there is so many classification of hells, even in the Buddhist scripture, there are the hells where the person neck is so thin.
Hell is not a separate place where you go.
But
Hell is right now if you do bad things, fight with your family member, that's hell.
I actually understand those kind of hell, but
those kind of hell, you should don't go to those kind of hell.
Yeah.
That's good enough for you. If you do that, then you don't have to worry about hot hell, cold hell, because
I understand, Guru Geshe-la, but then there is.
You want to go to hell?
No.
Okay, sorry.
But then, Geshe-la, this is kind of a misconception that has been spread throughout the world. Shouldn't there be a system to clear our concept regarding this? Because a classification of those hells, and then even not just some people, my parents tells, but even the religious Gurujis also tells that you should be, if you don't do that kind of thing, the God might get angry, the bad fortune will fall upon you. But then sometimes I think God and the enlightened one, just like us, if we don't pray them, they will punish us. So they are more become like a human, which get angry over those small things. I mean, it is our choice whether to pray them or not. So, getting an bad merit just because we don't light the candles and all this, this is kind of a misconception that has been spread in the world.
This is a good question. I'll tell you one thing. Parents and teachers will tell you only what they know. In all generations, the teachers try to tell something. The way I'm doing is good, you follow me. The parents also say the way I'm doing is good, follow me. But that is not necessarily true. For example, farmers, parents are farmers, they tell their children, do the farming, go after the cattle. Because that's the only thing they know. But in today's situation, that is not necessarily the good thing. You can do many other things which are much better than the way they are living their life. Right? So therefore you have every right to come out and do those things which are more innovative, more creative, more realistic, not just listen to the parents. But that does not mean that you should immediately revolt against your parents. The parents are not trying to harm you. Because of their limited knowledge, they can't guide you better, but still they have the compassion. So therefore you should also be compassionate to them. That yes, I understand this is your big concern for me, your compassion for me, but today there's better opportunity. You should explain and then do the best, better things, right? And sometimes the hell, the things about hell, when people don't listen at all, फिर उनको दवा दंगाना पड़ता है. इसलिए भी बोल रहे कभी, ठीक है ना?
Okay, so actually it doesn't exist, right?
Huh?
It doesn't exist. I mean,
It exists. It exists in your mind. If it exists in your mind, it means it is existing. Because if your mind, let me give you an example. If you keep on doing many negative things, then you will be born in a place where there is no fruit, where there is no plant, where the climate is extremely hot. दुनिया में ऐसे बहुत सारा जगह है जहाँ कुछ भी नहीं फिर भी वहाँ आदमी बैठा है. गर्मी में इनका होता है 56, 7, 8 सेल्सियस, फिर भी जीता है, क्यों जीता है? It's a law of karma, you know. And you've seen some like famished, you know, children in South Africa and other countries due to war. They're really like hungry ghosts, you know. खाने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं, इनका सीट भरा हो जाता है, फिर चमड़ा ऐसे सब लपेटा हुआ है. The stomach really big, something like hell. Hey.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
ठीक है.
What about the avoidance, the LAA? If it's a state of our mind, we can see the hell things or suffering, we can see, but we cannot see La in Lama in it.
There are people who are really like La. There are people who are really like gods, really like demigods, you know, like Shantideva is called Shiva La. Because he was so peaceful that he is really like a celestial being. Right? So from that you can get some clue what it means to be La. And then demigods are said to be always fighting with the La. And fighting we see everywhere here. Right? So you can get a glimpse of. If you want, I'll take a long tour to all these places. Traveling too.
One last question.
Yeah. Sure, that's why it is published already. You should read it. Because long before group from Korea, they asked me to translate the life story of Shantideva, which I did many years back. Last time, maybe.